Yerp, what's goody team? What's goody team? Welcome to tonight's isolation session for January 26th, 2028. Hope everyone has had a good day so far. Hope everyone had a great weekend. Hope you all are ready for the new trading week, man. Markets opened last night and fucking everything moved. I already knew. I'm like, oh man. Markets are gonna be a little shit show for today for the morning time, but it's all good. We'll go through the moves. We'll update what we need to update. We'll talk about what we got to update. First session of the week, so it'll be a pretty quick session. Really shouldn't take us longer than 30, 45 minutes. If you guys have any questions, let me know again. I'm still not home yet, so I only have one monitor, so I'll be going back and forth from the chart to the chat, and vice versa. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. Any specific pairs you guys want me to go over, let me know. The pairs we're going to be going over in specific are the ones that you see with the red folder next to their name, starting off with AUD-USD, finishing off with silver. But again, if you have any questions, let me know. Anything you guys want me to go over, anything you guys want me to explain again. If you need me to slow down, say something, whatever, let me know. For those of you guys watching the recording, if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave the questions in the comments section, or you could, message me on Discord, Instagram, Twitter, email, phone call, text message, if you want to send a pigeon to me, I got you. But please ask questions if you have them. Not only does it help you, but it helps everyone else out. Again, a question that you may have is a question that your fellow neighbor might have. If we were in a classroom setting, you got 30 students. In this case, we got 150 people. Right? A question you have may be a question that somebody else in the group has. So feel free to ask questions. Feel free to let me know when something is confusing and you need me to explain something. There's a few in the next couple days, next couple weeks. There's gonna be a few things we're gonna tweak and we're gonna add. That hopefully we will share with you guys in the next coming days, next coming weeks. So there's a few things I might have to work on here with you guys, and we'll go on from there. So again, I'm just gonna give everybody another 2 minutes to join. We'll start at 7:03. Just gonna allow everybody some time to join the session. That's insane. All right, you guys ready? Let me know in the chat. Ready to get started, guys. So, once again, for those of you guys watching the recording, make sure to ask questions, guys. So, again, gonna be a pretty quick session. If there's not really a lot to talk about, then you already know the deal. We're just gonna skip through it and talk about what we need to talk about, update what we need to talk about. First session of the week, so we're pretty much just gonna get our charts ready for tomorrow morning, and then we'll get back to business tomorrow morning. And actually, an update for tomorrow. Um, I'm gonna turn the stream on in the morning. I'm gonna try very hard for you guys to turn the stream on at around 6 a.m., 6:30 a.m. Eastern time. Because I have some things to take care of in the morning for the NYC session. So I'm not even gonna be streaming the um the 9:30 open. I have to leave my house at around 9 a.m. at the latest. So tomorrow's trading session is gonna be cut short. Again, obviously we'll be up as soon as I wake up. I'm turning the stream on and I'm updating my charts in front of you guys, so you guys could see exactly what it is that what I look at and how I look at it, right? To then determine whether or not the trading session is gonna be a good session or not. See if there's gonna be any trades. And then we'll be live again tomorrow evening, 7 p.m. regular time. You guys already know the deal. But tomorrow morning I am a little busy, so just wanted to give you guys that update. But again, any questions, let me know. So AUD USD, we know we are in level 3 on a downtrend, right? We're looking for price to give us a set lower high point to then continue back down to the bottom, right? So our daily highs and daily lows, pretty much same thing we talked about in the weekly market breakdown. There's nothing new here. If you guys missed the weekly market breakdown, make sure you guys go watch that. And then if you have any questions about that, let me know. 4-hour time frame, same thing, nothing to update, no continuations. We're still making counter trend moves, higher highs and higher lows. And then on the 30-minute time frame, this is where things are getting a little juicy, right? 30-minute time frame, we are still making higher highs and higher lows. So we want to be a little bit careful with still looking for these trends to shift from the uptrend to a downtrend. Now, what I like about AU, well, let me zoom in before I say that. Yep, we have a beautiful engulfing candle at these highs, right? So I love that. I love that. Bearish engulfing candle. This could be a picture perfect trade. We still have that gap at the bottom of the market, which was the start of the week. Price still hasn't filled that up, so could we expect price to give us a 17, 18 pip pullback to then continue back down to the bottom? Absolutely. Right, what I also like about AU right now is how price is printing. Right, at this moment we have a shoulder, we have a head. Could price give us another shoulder? Absolutely. And we'll be looking for price to break below these lows to give us that confirmation that we went from an uptrend starting back down to the downtrend. So there's still a little bit of confirmations that I want to see before we end up taking these trades. Excuse me, guys. So we'll be patient, but AU again, we're waiting for price to give us that set lower high point. As soon as we get that set lower high point and we start seeing that downtrend push, that's when I'll start looking to take these trades. So AU, taking it easy. We're going to be patient, but we are getting ready to start trading AU very soon. Same thing with ACAD. Right, ACAD, we're in A1. A1 is the first zone of consolidation on a downtrend, and we're back at the highs. Same thing we talked about in the weekly market breakdown. Price came back to the top of the zone of consolidation. Perfect. This is our safety trade. Right, as soon as we get those confirmations that price is going to start these downtrend moves, that's when I'm going to start looking to take these trades. Right, it's going to be a very simple trades from these pairs right now. Again, our job is just to be patient. Wait for the confirmations and then go on from there. I'm not going to mark this as higher high, higher low, higher high, because this higher high was pretty much made with a gap. So I'm just going to say that all of this is part of the same trend for now. If we need to update this at any point, we will. But this is how I'm going to mark this, because it's what makes sense. We still have that gap at the bottom of the market. Perfect. Now, lower time frames telling us a little bit something different. right? Lower time frame, I am gonna mark this as higher high, higher high, lower low change of character, right? So we already know that confirmation that the trend has shifted is gonna be once price gives us the break of structure after the change of character. So right now what I'm looking for price to give me that valid break. That valid break is gonna happen at these lows. And as soon as we get those valid breaks, that's when I'm gonna start looking to take these trades. Right, so ACAT is another pair. I'm going to keep a very close eye on AUD CAD. We still have that gap at the bottom of the market, so we have a good range to start looking to take trades and where we're looking for our TP to be set. Nothing real here to update on ACAD for now, so we'll go to the next one. I'm here, wasn't able to mark up charts just yet. It's all good, man. You're not passionate enough. That's the problem. Yeah. How you like that, man? For EA, we are in an overall uptrend. We are still in level 3 on an uptrend. Price gave us another push down to the bottom that could be a higher low point. And again, internal time frame, we're still making lower lows and lower highs, right? Nothing to update on the daily time frame. Our 4-hour time frame, we know we had 3 weeks of drop. 1, 2, 3. After 3 weeks of drop, the market must move sideways or go up. So this week for EA, I am expecting price to give me at least one entry on EA. Now again, the only thing that's messing me up with EA is the fact that we are still trading lower low, lower high, lower low, right? As a trader, you have to ask yourself the question, why would you be looking for a buy position? Why would you be looking for a long position when price is still downtrending? There's no point, right? So before I even consider taking a trade on EA, what do I need to see? I need to see price start making higher highs and higher lows. It's that simple. There's really nothing more to that. There's nothing more, nothing less. Right? We had 3 days of drop. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. After 3 days of drop, the market must do what? Move sideways or go up. We ended up going up. Perfect. Right? Why is this good? Because it gives us peace of mind. It allows us to see, okay, the market is moving exactly how it needs to move. It's following rules, right? The rules that the markets have, it's following them. So we already know all we have to wait for is for the confirmation that price is done going down, right? It's finished with the downtrend, and we're going to start the uptrend. Again, right now, market structure is still lower low, lower high, lower low. Why would I put myself in a situation where I'm going into a buy position when market structure is still downtrending? It doesn't make any sense, right? So as of right now for EA, I still need to see price giving me those higher highs and higher lows before I take a trade. Regardless of everything else I see, regardless of whether the fact I see a double bottom and I see a fair value gap and an order block bounce off the 50 EMA, a fib retracement, whatever it is that you're trading. Again, there's a difference between entry strategies and market structure. But when you combine the two, that's what takes your win-loss ratio from a 40%, 50%, 60% up to a 75, 80, 85, 90% win rate. Right? It's getting out of the removing the outside noise. Where again, I don't care that I see an engulfing candle, a bullish engulfing candle somewhere in this area. If market structure is still lower lows and lower highs, why would I enter a trade going long? It doesn't make any sense. Right? It just doesn't make any sense. Right? So EA, gonna keep a close eye on it. We'll be ready to trade EA again when the time comes. ECAD, we're in peak high territory, so this one I'm just going to update the chart. I'm not going to be trading it, so just bear with me a few seconds here. It looks like we need to update our 30-minute highs and lows at this point. Right, we finally got a break of structure. The break happens here, gave us higher high, higher low, and then we're looking for another higher high point to be set. We have a day of rise, and we still have that gap at the bottom of the market. So at this point, I'm just gonna update the lows. I'm not gonna update the highs, and I'm gonna use, oh man, the lows of this structure is with a gap, so I'm gonna use the bottom of this candle here, and then the lowest candle, which is the wick. Right, so all of this is part of the same structure. And I'm not gonna update the highs just yet, but again, I'm not trading ECAD, so I'm just gonna turn this one off and go on to the next pair. EU, we still got that gap. We know we're in an overall uptrend. We are in level 2. And we're back at the top of the zone of consolidation. We're back at the daily highs. We're back at the 4-hour highs. We're back at the highs where price previously before. 2 different times it gave us a rejection, went down. Rejected the highs, went down. Right? Rejected the lows, went up. Rejected the lows, came back up. We have 3 months of rise as well too with EU already, and we're already at the last week of the month. So EU, not only are we at the daily and the 4-hour highs, not only are we at the top of the 3rd month high as well, right? But we also have a gap at the bottom of the market. And we already know after 3 months of rise, the market must do what? The market must move sideways or go down. So right now the confirmations are right in front of our face. We know that in the next couple days, in the next couple weeks, right, the next 1 to 2 weeks, what is price going to do for EU? We know we're going to see price give us a downtrend, right? We know we're looking for that, right? Price gave us a day of rise on Thursday. On Friday, it gave us a second day of rise. Today, Monday, what did price do? It gave us a 3rd day push to the top side. And we already know after 3 days of rise, the market must do what? Move sideways or go down. It's that simple. Now, yes, we have gaps in the market that reset the trend. So technically speaking, could price continue back up to the top side? Absolutely. It could give us another day where it goes up. Am I expecting that? Absolutely not. I'm not expecting it because we're already at our daily highs and our 4-hour highs. Again, the same high that we have on the daily time frame is the same high that we have on the 4-hour time frame. And once again, everything is color coordinated. The daily high is gray. The daily highs and lows are gray. The 4-hour highs and lows are blue. The 30-minute highs and lows are red. Right? So we're at a higher high point at this point. Right now, we are trading at a higher high point. I'm looking for price to give me a pullback on EU. So nonetheless, we're going to keep an eye on it. If we have an opportunity to take these trades, we'll definitely take it. But we're at least getting our charts ready for the next trading session, for the next time that we're on these charts. Any questions so far? Let me know, guys. I'm on the charts. I'm locked. GA is another pair in peak high territory, so I'm going to turn this one off. You guys already know peak high, peak low territory. I'm not messing with the charts. Nothing to update on the daily or the 4-hour time frame, 30-minute time frame. We're still lower low, lower high, lower low. At these lower lows, price decided to just move sideways. Right? So right now we're just going to let price do what it has to do. We had a gap. Price filled it as soon as the market opened. Perfect. No problem. On to the next pair, GCAD. Daily time frame. We are back at the top of the zone of consolidation on an uptrend. So again, this is another pair right now. And again, as a trader, you have to ask yourself the very simple question. In a zone of consolidation, when you're on an uptrend, is it better to take a trade at the bottom of the zone of consolidation when you're in an uptrend? And this is a question I'm asking the chat, so go ahead and answer the question in the chat for those of you guys who are active, right? In a zone of consolidation, when you're in an uptrend, is it better to take the trade at the bottom of the zone of consolidation or at the top of the zone of consolidation? I'll give you guys 20 seconds to answer that question. 20 seconds. Kendall says the bottom of the zone for buys. Adrian says at the bottom. Okay. Anyone else active? Let me know. Top of the zone for sells. Okay. Four, three, two, one. Ding, ding, ding. Right? Bottom of the zone of consolidation is where you want to start looking to take those trades going up when you're in an overall uptrend. When you're looking for those buy positions. When you're in an overall uptrend and price is at the top of the zone of consolidation already, this is where you just have to sit on your hands. For what? For price to either give you the break, the retest to then continue, or price is going to do the exact same thing it did the previous 3 times, which is reject the highs, go low, reject the highs, go low, reject the highs, go low. Could the same thing happen here, where price rejects the highs and goes low? Absolutely. So I already know. GCAD, this is a pair where we gotta be patient. Gotta be patient. At this point, we're at the top of the zone of consolidation. Cool. I'm waiting for price to give me that break. If price fails to give me the break of structure and it starts making lower lows and lower highs again, then we already know price is going to come back down to the bottom. Not only that, what do we see on the chart? Thursday, Friday, and Monday, 3 days of rise. After 3 days of rise, the market must do what? Either move sideways or go down. So we already know what's next. We already know what's next. And again, yes, we have a gap in the market. It resets the trend. Could price disrespect that 372 rule? Absolutely. But right now, I'm not focusing on that. Right now, I'm focusing on what we know. And what we know is that we're at the top of the zone of consolidation. We have 3 days of rise. I'm expecting a pullback to happen on GCAD. Now, if it doesn't give me a pullback and price continues to the top side, cool. Because regardless, before I take a trade, I need to see price give me the break of structure. As soon as we get that break, and as soon as we get a pullback and we get the retest, that's when I'll start looking to take the trade. So GCAD, I already know that's not going to be a pair for me to start looking to take entries. Right? Again, trading for me is super, 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 super simple. But why is it simple? Because I know the rules. I did the due diligence. I studied. I marked up all the charts I needed to mark up. I know the rules like the back of my hand. Again, if you come up to me in the streets and you ask me, yo, what's your name? I'm going to tell you right away. Right? It's the same way if you ask me, what's the definition of a zone of consolidation? I'll be able to tell you right away. If you tell me, what's the behavior of the markets after 3 weeks of rise, after 3 months of rise, after 3 days of rise, after 3 months of drop, after 3 weeks of drop, after 3 days of drop, I'm going to be able to tell you and I'm going to give you the answer right away. If you ask me what the behavior of the gaps are in the market, I'm going to be able to tell you right away. The same way I'm able to tell you what my name is. If you ask me, what EMAs do we want to see price bounce off on in level 1 and level 3, I'm going to be able to answer the question right away. In level 2, what do you want to see? I'm going to tell you right away. In order for the market to shift, what do you want to see? A change of character and a break of structure. I'm going to tell you the answer right away. That's the reason why trading is so simple for me. Because I already know the rules like the back of my hand. In order for an engulfing candle to be valid, what do you want to see? How do the candles need to be printed? I'm going to be able to not only show you, but I'll be able to grab a marker and draw it in front of you right away. In order for a flag post pattern to be valid, what needs to happen? How do the candlesticks need to print? What pullback do you need to see? I'll be able to tell you right away. Because again, That's the only way. The only way trading gets easy is when you understand and know the rules. And I'm not saying memorize them, no, because it's easy to memorize something. Simple. We all went to school, right? We all passed tests before, right? You memorized an exam that you had to take, but 10 years later, if I tell you to go and take that test again, are you going to be able to ace it? No, right? So until the information isn't stamped in your head, you're not going to be able to trade effectively. These are rules that you need to know right away every single day. Because again, there's nothing different on the charts. You're going to see the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, right? An engulfing candle doesn't change because it's Tuesday. An engulfing candle doesn't change because there's a next president. No, an engulfing candle is going to look the same way every single time. A doji candle looks the same every fucking day, right? An exhaustion candle looks the same every single day. An imbalance, an order block, a fair value gap, whatever it is that you're trading, it looks the same every single day, right? There's no difference. Again, we have over 700 live streams on the channel in the last 3 years. If you go and watch a session that we did in 2024, in 2023, whatever year, it's going to be the same information you see today. The same thing. Nothing has changed. We're doing the same thing every single day. Right? And we're repeating the same information every single day. There's nothing that changes. So until you don't understand every single rule, trading is just going to be the same like everyone else. It's going to be difficult. You're not going to be profitable. You're not going to make no money. You're going to be failing prop accounts and burning through your life capital, whatever the case is. That's why understanding these rules and really understanding them is very, 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 very important. It doesn't matter what you trade. Alright, Kendall, you show off. Right, so GJ, we're in peak high territory. This is one pair right now specifically that I'm not really trading right now. Right, GJ, I'm taking it the same way that I trade US 30 and gold and silver and Bitcoin. Right, GJ, I'm treating it the exact same way. Why? Because GJ is very volatile. So how is it that I approach GJ? I let GJ do what it has to do. Right, in the morning when I wake up during the NYC session, that's when I'll start really looking to see if there's anything left on the table. If ADR or STP hasn't been hit by the time we wake up, by the time we're on our charts, then I'll look at the pair. But as of right now, this is a pair that's super, super ugly for me. Right, GJ, I've taken a step back from GJ in the last couple months. I don't think I've taken a GJ trade since maybe December, beginning of December. Let's see if we could go back. No, further than that. We're already in November. I haven't taken a GJ trade in months, man. Right, the last GJ trade I took was October 21st. Right, that was it. After that, I was done. I'm like, yeah, this pair right now, I'm not trading it. And this was a picture perfect trade. Right, beautiful trade. With that being said, GJ, I'm just gonna skip over. I'm not even gonna update the 30-minute lows or anything just yet. We still have that gap at the top of the market, so we have 2 days of drop, but we're at the 4-hour lows. At the 4-hour lows, we have the inducement. At the 4-hour lows as well, in the 30-minute time frame, we have the exhaustion candles, and the internal time frame as well gave us a change of character, and it looks like price wants to give us that break now. So GJ looks like it wants to turn around, and even on the lower time frame, we have the 50 crossing above the 200. The only thing holding this back would be the 800 EMA on the 5-minute time frame, but outside of that, and on the 30-minute as well, since we're already below it. But we have the inducement to the lows, so this is gonna be an interesting pair to keep an eye on for tomorrow. But again, that's all that this is gonna be with GJ. I'm not gonna go into any crazy details with GJ right now. Man, I need to take my meds for tonight because I feel like shit. The sun went down and now I'm just like, ugh. I don't know if you guys could hear it in my voice or not, but let me know if you guys have any questions. Again, guys, GU very similar to EU. We are in level 2 on an uptrend. Once again, at this point, we're in a zone of consolidation where price has rejected lows, rejected highs, rejected lows, rejected highs, rejected lows. And where is price at right now? At the highs, where we've previously rejected 2 other times. Same thing as EU. We have 2 months of rise. This month being the 3rd month. Where are we? We're at the top. So again, in a zone of consolidation, in an uptrend, am I looking to take these buy positions at the top of the zone of consolidation before the break? Absolutely not. So I already know ahead of time. I already know this is not going to be a pair I'm going to be looking to take a trade in. Right? Above everything else, we also have a gap at the bottom of the market that hasn't been filled. We had 2 days of rise. Today, what did price do? It gave us a 3rd day of rise. After 3 days of rise, the market must do what? Move sideways or go down. We're at the top of the 4-hour highs. We're at the top of the 30-minute highs. What else do we want to see? What other confirmations do we... Everything right now is telling us GU is going to give us a pullback. As of right now, with all the confirmations that we have that we just talked about, we already know that. We know that there's a 95% chance that that's exactly what's going to happen. And I don't trade going counter trend. So I already know that stepping up to the charts tomorrow, GU is not a pair I'm going to be looking to trade. And you know what I do? Go to the next pair. Right? That's why I always say it. Like, you know, I should be turning on the streams every single day that I'm on the charts. So I could really show you guys how is it that I approach the chart. Why is it that I'm so patient? Right? How do I avoid getting faked out? How do I avoid, you know, the noise that happens on the charts where you see everybody on Twitter? And again, it's very simple, and I'll call somebody out because I don't care. Yeah, I think I've done this long enough, and you guys have seen me long enough to know that I don't care about talking shit about other traders. But this is why, if you go to TJR's Instagram, on Monday he's winning, on Tuesday he's losing, on Wednesday he's winning, on Thursday he's losing, on Friday he's losing, then Monday comes and he's winning, and then Tuesday he's losing. There is no consistency. There's no consistency. And again, yes, if you are a person that sells courses for thousands of dollars and has affiliate codes and you have millions of followers online, yes, it's possible to be a 20% win rate trader. But again, if trading is your full-time job, if trading is something that you want to do full-time, you cannot have a 5% win rate. You can't. If you are not a person outside of trading that makes money outside of trading, you cannot have a 5% win rate. That's just not how it goes. The math does not math. The math is not mathing. So again, if you are TJR, if you are FX Alex G, if you are Lambo Raul, if you are these other people who make money from online and you make money from selling courses and you make money from social media, then yes, you could have a negative 10% win rate. Of course. But if you are a real trader, if trading is something you want to do full time as a real job, you cannot do that. Again, it just doesn't make sense. These guys have millions of dollars to blow. They don't give a fuck about losing 50K. They don't care about losing 100K. Why? Because at the end of the month, Top Step is sending them the money that they made from affiliate codes. At the end of the month, Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat and YouTube and Twitch is paying them out. At the end of the month, WAP and all these other online platforms are sending them a check for selling their courses. You do not have access to that. You don't have access to trade the way these guys trade. And that's just facts. So again, it's very fucking important. It's very important to understand the rules of the game. It's very, very important to understand what a high probability trade is versus a low probability trade. Why did this double bottom work and why didn't this one work? And we just went over it. If you are taking a trade, your entry strategy shows up on the charts, and your entry strategy for that day, you were like, oh, it's a bullish engulfing candle, or a bullish order block, or a bullish fair value gap, or a bullish turtle soup, or a fucking bullish jaguar F type. It doesn't matter what your entry strategy is. At the end of the day, if market structure is still lower lows and lower highs, why are you taking a long position? If you are in a zone of consolidation and you're looking for buy positions, why are you looking for buy positions at the top of the zone of consolidation? It doesn't, or vice versa. If you are in an overall downtrend and price is at the bottom of the zone of consolidation, why are you looking for a sell position before the break of structure? It doesn't make sense. If market structure is making higher highs and higher lows, and the market prints an entry strategy going short, why are you looking for a short position when market structure is making higher highs and higher lows? It doesn't make any sense. So again, go back test. I'm literally giving you guys the fucking blueprint. Go look at TJR's fucking Instagram and go in and come back to the chat. We still got 20 minutes left here. Come back to the chat and tell me what you guys see that he did wrong. Please. I'm begging you guys. And it's not only, I'm only calling him out because he's the one of the only people that I follow in the trading space. And why? Because he's funny as fuck. I'll give it to him. He's a fucking comedian. He's funny as hell. But for me to sit here and tell you that he's a trader, I can't. I can't. There's only a handful of people that I could call a trader. Q Banks and Q Banks. That's it. The only online social media person that I could call a trader is Q Banks. That's it. Everyone else, yo, they do a fucking amazing job at making money from social media. But again, you're not fooling me. We've been following these guys for far too long. Again, you're not gonna tell me that you're a trader when you got a 2% win rate, yo. You can't. I'm delusional, but I'm not stupid. You just can't. You can't make that shit up. What's good, Inferno? 5% win rate is crazy. Just reverse yourself at this point, yo. That's the name of the game. That's the name of the game. So I hope that made sense, guys, and I hope it resonates. Cause again, this is nothing new. Me crashing out, I do this every single stream. So it's again nothing new. And again, I wish I was talking shit, but I'm not. Like, I wish we could just sit here and be like, yo, this guy Jumper is a fucking hater. I am a hater, 100%. Like, I wish I could make, I wish I was in their shoes, making thousands and thousands of dollars selling, fake algorithm bots. Shout out Lambo Raul. I wish I could make millions of dollars on online just from social media and selling fucking affiliate codes and having a course of 2,000 3,000 people all following my signals, and then on a random Tuesday I give you a fake signal just so you could go out and buy another prop firm account using my affiliate code, so then that way at the end of the month I could get another thousands of dollars from the affiliate code sales. Like, I wish I could do that. I wish I was a bad person that way. I wish I had that bone in my body to do that. But there's a reason why we've dropped working with multiple prop firms in the last 2-3 years. Because at first they all look legit, and then what happens? They're scamming people. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to put you guys in a position where you're trading with a firm that's not paying out. Right? So people are going to talk shit about me calling out all these people and talking about it on social media, but I'm not the one selling my soul. I'm not the one putting you guys in danger from bullshit. I'm telling you guys the facts. It's exactly what it is. So again, show me the facts. That's all I have to say. Show me the facts. And the facts are right in front of our faces every single day. These guys make millions and millions of dollars online selling fake courses and bots and signals. But what do I know? It's not like I haven't used social media before. Right? So NZD USD, we are in A2, second zone of consolidation on an overall downtrend. We're at the bottom of the zone of consolidation. Again, we already know the behavior. Price rejected the lows, went to the top. Rejected the lows, went back to the middle. Rejected the lows, going back to the top side, right? Going back to the middle. We already know what the deal is. So what am I looking for now? I already know. NZD USD, I'm looking for price to turn around. We're still making higher highs and higher lows on the 4-hour time frame. On the 30-minute time frame, we're still making higher highs and higher lows. So again, as a trader, you have to ask yourself, why am I looking for short positions when price is still making higher highs and higher lows? It's very simple. And I already know. And you, I'm gonna wait. For what? Gonna wait for price to start making lower lows and lower highs. It's that simple. It's that simple for me. This isn't rocket science. Like every single pair in the market, guys, every single pair in the market is traded and treated the exact same way. There's nothing different. The same thing I just said about NZD USD is the same shit I've said about the last 10 pairs that we just did. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's nothing different. They might look a little different. Cool, yeah, right? Because price isn't going to print the same across every single stock. Absolutely. Right? Absolutely. But the information and what we're looking for is the exact same across the board. Doesn't matter if you're trading the foreign currencies. It doesn't matter if you're trading commodities. It doesn't matter if you're trading the indices. It doesn't matter if you're trading stock options, Tesla, Nvidia, Intel. It doesn't matter if you're trading the small cap markets. High frequency is all the same shit. You're looking for the same thing on every single market. You're looking for the same information. You're looking for your reversal patterns. You're looking for your continuations. You're looking for exhaustion candles. You're looking for your highs, your lows, right? You're looking for the trend. You're looking for when price is moving in sideways movement. It's all the same thing. With that being said, US 30, I have nothing to talk about with US 30. USD CAD and ZAR updated them, but I'm not trading them. I'm going to turn these off. Um, I'm not ready to trade these pairs just yet. USD CAD and USD ZAR, these are two pairs where at the moment, again, I'm going to just update them so I could keep my charts up to date. But these are two pairs that I am personally, I'm not going to be trading them just yet. So I'm just going to update them on the 30-minute. Yeah, ZAR, I haven't even, I thought I updated ZAR. I guess I didn't. I 100% updated USD CAD though. And then guys, the last four pairs for the night: gold, Bitcoin, oil, and silver. Again, those are four other pairs for right now that not a lot to say. What can I say that's different than everybody else online? We're in peak high territory. We're in the highest point of the market. At this point, everybody's just waiting for the sells to start happening. Um, and again, we're in peak high territory. There's really similar to GJ that I said. These are specific pairs that if I wake up for the NYC session and I see that STP or ADR hasn't been hit, then we could start looking for entries. But to talk about them, the session beforehand or the night before, there's really not a lot to talk about. There's really not a lot to talk about. We're still making higher highs, higher lows. We still have that gap at the bottom of the market. We also have a gap now that price printed when the market opened. Um, there's not a lot to talk about. We're just at this point, pairs like gold, pairs like GJ, pairs like US 30, S&P, NAS 100. It's just a waiting game. We're just pretty much waiting to see what price wants to do. Could price continue these uptrend pushes? Absolutely. The market could do whatever it wants. We've seen that in the last 2 years. Right? And I say just last 2 years just to talk about recent times, but we could talk about COVID. Right? Bitcoin, I'm going to turn it off. but we're still making lower low, lower high, lower low. We had 2 days of drop. Price gave us a gap in the market, reset the trend, gave us a day of rise instead. No problem. Right? Price tapped into those lows that we had talked about a couple months ago, actually. Gave us exhaustion candles and then started flying up from here. Right? Very similar to XRP. Right? We're at the lows. What lows are we? We're at the bottom of the zone of consolidation on an uptrend. Right? We're at the lows that price has rejected before. We're on the 800 EMA. So we're in an area with crypto, and even when we're talking about indices, where the indexes where could expect price to just continue that push to the top side. Oil just moved sideways today, and we're still, again, what are we doing? Price gave us higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. We pretty much moved sideways for a little bit. In between that sideways movement, we could still see higher high, higher high, higher high, higher high. And we know oil is in an overall downtrend, right? So again, at this moment, what am I waiting for? I'm waiting for oil to turn around from being in an uptrend to start going into a downtrend. So oil will be patient with it. I'm not in no rush. There's too much news going on too when it comes to oil, when it comes to the commodities. There's too much news going on. And then silver, again, I'm just going to keep this updated. Crazy pushes, man. You know, shout out to Big Timer, Mr. Will. You know, he was talking about silver in these last couple days and what he's looking for. And again, nothing different than what everybody else online says. Oh, we're just waiting for these short positions. We're waiting for these short positions. But again, the question you have to ask yourself as a trader, how much could price continue? How much further could price continue to push to the top side? And, you know, that's a question that nobody has the answer to. At the end of the day, the market could do whatever it wants to do when it comes to price. Right? It's our job to be present, and if it gives us an entry, we take it. We had a gap, price filled it, perfect. So that's pretty much it, guys. Any questions? Let me know. Again, I told you guys it was going to be a pretty quick stream, so by the way, Jumper, does QBanks trade the same as you? Very similar, but not the same. There's a lot of similarities, right? Because even when it comes with E, there's a lot of things that Q taught and that Q currently teaches that I learned from him, right? So there's a few things when it comes to especially candlestick analysis. There's a few things that he taught that I learned, right? And you guys have that information too. But when it comes to the overall, I guess you could say the blueprint of what we look at and why we look at it is a little bit different. Completely different. You could say that. So, I mean, I guess the simple answer to that question is no. We don't trade the same. Again, there are some similarities, but he looks at the market a little bit different. The overview of the market, he looks at it a little bit different. But again, I will say Q is that one trader that I always recommend people, like, you know, if you really want to learn, go learn from Q. Like, if you really care and you want to have another person to go look at and learn, you know, some other things about the market, Q is really good at doing that. Especially when we're talking about US 30, right? Because if it wasn't for Q too, when it comes to US 30, I wouldn't be as confident trading US 30. But he was that person that allowed me to be confident when trading US 30. But any other questions, guys? Any other pairs? Anything in specific that you guys want me to go over? Again, tomorrow I'm going to 100% be turning the stream on at around 6 in the morning, 6:30. But again, I won't be streaming past 9 in the morning because I have some things I have to go take care of tomorrow. So it's gonna be a pretty quick session tomorrow morning. We're gonna go over the pairs, see what's left for the day. If we see any entries or we see any opportunities, we'll talk about it. If not, it'll just be a stream pretty much going over every pair and just talking about what's left, what's not left, the reasons why I'm looking at things and why not. So it should be a pretty good session tomorrow as well. Thanks, no problem, Mr. Inferno. Perfect, see you tomorrow, brother. Thank you, no problem, Mr. Adrian. Hope you have a good rest of your night, my brother. Oh shit, my phone's on do not disturb. Who called me? Alright, team. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Peace out.